much, girl, you walk the whole earth for. Put her on your back and just carry her attitude.
Hey, it's your girl Cash. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video will be a story time. So, I'm not sure if I'm going to title this story something about being a stepmama or something about dealing with a scammer, but either way, I was dealing with both, and y'all, it just was not a good idea. So boom, this took place probably like around the ending of my sophomore year, because if you've been following me for a while, I always tell y'all that I went to Palm Beach State for my first associate's degree, and then I transferred over to FAU for my bachelor's. So this is around the time where I was approaching, like, you know, graduation for my associate's degree, and this was like a COVID graduation or whatever. So like the whole time I was going to Palm Beach State, I wasn't really dating that much on campus, because it was pretty much so nothing but high schoolers, dudes that I had went to high school with, or people that were way older than me, and I wasn't really involved in, like, you know, clubs and stuff like that. So I really used to just to go to school and come back home. So we gonna give this boy a name. What we gonna call him? We gonna call him Carpet. So boom, I have been knowing Carpet probably since like literally kindergarten, because he had went to the same elementary school as me, and I remember Carpet because me and him had went to school from kindergarten all the way up until 5th grade together, and we went to different middle schools and different high schools. So in high school, he would always DM me and be like, oh, I want you, like, let's mess with each other, because we was friends on Facebook. But I just never really took the bait, because I'm not gonna lie, y'all, like, I'm not trying to sound bougie, but like Carpet had, you know, kind of did a 180 after elementary school. And it's like, don't get me wrong, everybody does, but he was really on some like gang banging stuff, like always posted up like with ski mask on, going back and forth to jail every other week. Because y'all know I'm from Palm Beach. Palm Beach mugshots, if you go to jail anywhere from here to Broward, they gonna post it and they gonna put a meme over it and all types of other stuff. So I will always see his mugshots. So I really just wasn't feeling him. But we were still friends on Facebook, because I told him no, but I let him know like I still want to keep in touch, because we've been knowing each other for a long time, like we can be friends. So every blue moon he would swipe up on my story, I would swipe up on his, everything would be cool. Maybe when I like hit about 19 or 20, this is like I said, sophomore year of college, Carpet was starting to do like a little bit better. So I think maybe when I was like a freshman in college, he had a baby, and I never knew who his baby mama was, but he would always post his daughter, and his daughter was the prettiest little chocolate girl ever. But the way him and his baby mama used to go back and forth on social media, I was never able to find her like Facebook, because he would never tag her. He would just get on his status and just say all types of stuff about her, like, oh, she young, she living off her mama, she a bum, she be having different dudes around the baby. He would just say all types of stuff about her. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to sound biased. I don't think that like people who are co-parenting should be talking down to each other, because you know you got to do what's in the best interest of the child. But especially when you're a man that is like trying to date me, or if I'm supposed to be thinking about talking to you, the number one turn off is seeing you on social media doing all that back and forth with your child's mother, disrespecting her and all that, because it's just like, you know, I just know that, you know, you're not somebody I can deal with, because this is your baby mama. She done, you know, birthed you a child. Y'all supposed to have like a different type of respect for each other. You doing all that, putting all her business on the internet, like whether it's true or not, I just know that you're not the type of man that I'm ever going to be able to deal with. So he would DM me around that time too, and I would just never respond to him, because what him and his baby mama had going on was just ghetto. So after a while, I started noticing that, you know, like, I wasn't seeing him in the book and blotter as much. Like, he was starting to get dressed up more. He wouldn't be arguing with his baby mama on social media, and he used to be putting that shit on. Like, I noticed he started taking a lot of trips to Cali, and this is around the time where the dudes was doing like all those, you know, they was hitting the system, and you know everybody was getting money. But around this time, I'm a square, so I didn't know what was going on. I would just always see him posting like he in California and stuff, and I'm like, okay, but you starting to look good. So I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I don't remember if I was trying to flirt or if I genuinely wanted to know where he got his shoes from, but I had texted him, like swiped up on his story, and I'm like, damn, like I like your shoes, where you got those from? So he had responded. He was like, oh girl, I got these in Cali, like from this shoe seller. I would say I'm gonna put you on, but these was limited edition, and I don't even know if he's still gonna have these. And I was like, you know, damn, alright, big money, because I like sneakers, but not enough to be out here buying limited edition Jordans. Like, at that point, you might as well go ahead and buy yourself some designer shoes or pay your rent. So after I had asked him about the shoes, So after I had asked him about the shoes, he started like swiping up, and he was like, you know, you've been looking real good. Like, when I come back in town, you should let me take you out on a date. And I was like, you know, all right, I'm gonna think about it. So from that point forward, we started like being on FaceTime every day, and he ended up coming home like, I think maybe that next week. So when he got home, we were like texting and stuff like that. He had asked me the next day could he take me out for lunch. I'm like, all right, bet. So I ended up sending him like my location, and I was at school, so he came to pick me up from school. Now mind you, when we would be on FaceTime, he would always tell me like, you know, he lives with his mom, so a lot of the times when we would be on FaceTime, he would always be sitting outside on the back porch or in the car, because he was saying like, you know, he really didn't like living with his mom, and they would always be arguing and going back and forth, and he was trying to get on his feet and like, you know, go get his own place. So when he pulled up on me to get me from school, I'm thinking he gonna pull up like in a little putt-putt, a little Toyota. He pulls up in the Audi truck. Now mind you, I'm not trying to count Carpet's pockets, but it's like, if you living with your mama and she just so insufferable, why you not trying to put your money into getting a place, but you get in the Audi truck? Like, but at the same time, I wasn't catching on. Like, nobody, well, this is just, honestly, you don't know too many grown men that's around here driving like nice brand new cars and live with their mama. Like, you know, usually people be wanting to get their own space. So we end up like driving away from the school, me and him talking, and we end up going to Tacos Al Carbone. So mind you, at Tacos Al Carbone, y'all know like the little outside truck, they have places where you could sit at, but he was just so in love with this truck, and he just wanted to keep on talking about it. So we ended up sitting in his truck and eating tacos. So I'm like, you know, who am I to judge? He probably just proud of this truck, and you know, he obviously liked me. He done liked me for a long time. He trying to impress me. So we sit in the car, we just chopping it up, and he just like, yeah, you see, like, I'm getting on my feet, I got a truck, like, I'm proud of you for going back to school, like, I kind of want to get enrolled too, because I think at Palm Beach State at the time, I'm not sure if it was the welding program or the automotive program, but he wanted to enroll in one of them, and he was like, you know, maybe you could help me sign up, and me and you could be like study partners or whatever. And I'm just like, but you don't want to be no study partner. I'm getting a whole associate's in English, like, you trying to study something else, he trying to study this ass. So I'm like, all right, like, you know, I'm going for it. And, you know, he looking good, he smelling good. I'm like, all right, maybe we can be something. So we were probably dating for like a week or two. And one night he had called me, and it's like late night. It got to be like a Saturday or Sunday. So we just on FaceTime. And me and him will always be on the phone late night, but I would never let him come in the house. Even when he would come see me, because I just felt like with my last relationship, I moved too fast with, like, you know, being intimate with him. So I was like, from this point forward, with every other relationships, I'm going to take it slow. So I hadn't been letting him come in the house, but this night I did. I was like, all right, whatever, you can come over. So he came over that night. He spent the night, and y'all, it was cool. Like, we stayed up all night watching movies and stuff like that. Me and him had a lot in common, like, especially because we knew each other since childhood. So we just up reminiscing, talk about people we used to go to school with and where they at now. And the next morning, like, we both woke up super early. I'm cooking breakfast. Mind you, I rarely cook for people. I can't tell you the last time I cooked for a man. So I'm like, damn, like, I'm really liking you. I'm really feeling you. So we call ourselves being boyfriend and girlfriend, everything going good. So I start noticing, like, you know, maybe a few weeks into us talking, like, you know, he wasn't offering to take me out on dates as much as he usually would. And he was kind of just starting to look rough. Like, he wasn't keeping his hair cut. He wasn't keeping his nails manicured. Like, and he was just smoking Black and Milds real bad. And I'm like, you know, it seemed like he going through something. One of the nights, he asked me to come see me per usual. I'm like, all right, no problem, pull up. And he would stay like maybe 10-12 minutes from me. So he pulled up on me, and we just sitting on the bed and we talking. So while we talking, I just peep, like, somebody just keep on calling his phone, no caller ID. Keep on calling his phone, no caller ID. To the point where I had said something about it. I'm like, you know, are you going to answer that? And he was basically, he starts giving me this long sob story about, man, that ain't nobody but my baby mama. She mad because I don't want to deal with her no more. I just cussed her out because she dealing with one of my ops, and she be having an op around my jit. Like, she's so disrespectful. She young. She got a silver spoon in her mouth. Like, she don't know nothing about it. Her mama do everything for her, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you know, I'm like, oh, like, you know, I'm kind of giving him the side eye, because he's just sitting over here telling me all this girl business. But at the same time, he keep on saying, like, oh, well, she's young. She got a silver spoon in her mouth. Mind y'all, at this point, me and him probably, like, if I'm 19, he's 20. This girl is like 17, 18, just graduated from high school, and I believe she was pregnant her senior year of high school. So it was just like, he was kind of turning me off with that, because you can't be around here chasing after young girls. Mind you, it's ain't nothing like a 2-year age gap. It's not the biggest age gap in the world. Me personally, I just, you know, I feel like, don't be around here chasing after the young girls and you turn around and talk about some, oh, she young, she childish. Yeah, boo. Damn near a child. Like, we all knew how he was thinking in high school. Like, so that was just kind of giving me the ick. So I really wasn't believing him all the way, because, you know, usually when a dude starts talking down on their baby mama, they either miss her or he's actually mad at what she got going on because they got something going on. Clock that T. So we're just talking about it or whatever, and he starts looking at me and rubbing on my leg, like trying to change the subject. And he's like, oh, you know, I just really wish that you could meet my daughter. Like, I was supposed to get her, and I was wondering, like, you know, if you're interested in meeting my daughter. And at this time, y'all, I was so young and dumb. Me and this boy probably had been talking for like 2 months, and I'm like, yeah, I'm open to meeting your daughter. Like, I would love to watch her with you, because he was saying like we should all go out on like a little daddy-daughter stepmama date, and we could go take her to Chuck E. Cheese or like to the aquarium or something. And I was like, yeah, I'm down for it. Just like, you know, you can either give me your baby mama number and me and her could try to talk about it, or, you know, you could facilitate it or whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, this is not perfect timing for me to be meeting your daughter, especially if your baby mama was just cursing you out. So when I started telling him about like meeting his baby mama, hand instantly moved off my thigh, and he like, what? Like, that's my baby too. I don't understand like why people do that to fathers. Like, I got just as much jurisdiction over my child as she do. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I completely respect that. But you see how you over here crying in my bed about her having a man that you don't like, or one of your ops around your child? Imagine you bringing me a girl that she don't know. Me and you ain't even been talking for nothing like 2 months. Imagine you just bringing me around her child. Like, how you gonna explain that to her? So he's just like, man, like, that's my baby. I can bring my baby around anybody I want. She done been around other women before. Like, she's a baby. She's not gonna remember it. And I told him straight up, I would not be around your child till the mother gives me the green light. Like, I don't have no kids, y'all, but there's just certain lines you don't cross, and there's certain boundaries you gotta respect, and that's one of them. I don't feel like, unless the baby mama's just being unreasonable, but even if she is, shit, that's her child. I can't tell nobody how to feel about their kids, because I don't got none. And honestly, it sucks to say it, maybe I'm just not strong, but I'm not one of them women that's about to be arguing with your baby mama trying to solidify my spot. Like, no, I'm the stepmama. If you don't want me around your jit baby, I just won't be around them, because I don't ever want nobody thinking I'm pinching their daughter or throwing Fruit Loops at her head, because I don't even get down like that. So he ended up catching an attitude that night, so he didn't spend the night. He went ahead and he went back home. So me and him, we talked that week, but we probably weren't on the phone as much. It was really just like text here and there, like, hey baby, how you doing? Like, hope you having a good day. So maybe about like after 3 or 4 days of him dry texting me, Carpet calls me like 10 o'clock at night, sweaty, outside, breathing hard. He's like, baby, like, can I come see you right now? Like, you know, like, I just really need to lay down and talk. Like, I just need to vent. Like, shit getting weird out here. Hitting the black and mild hard, y'all. Like, hitting it like it's a Newport. I'm like, you cool? He like, man, my truck done got stolen. Like, I can't trust nobody around me. Everybody leeches, everybody thieves. I don't know who to trust. Like, I'm finna blank. And I'm like, oh my God, like, okay, baby, like, you can come over to my house, like, whatever, like, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, but, you know, could you order me the Uber, because, you know, they done stole my truck, baby. I gotta, like, find a way to get to you. Mind you, at this time, I'm kinda, like, side-eyeing him, because it's like, bro, I told y'all we stay right around the corner from each other. A Uber from his house to mine is like $10. So I'm, like, looking at him a little shady, but I'm not really thinking anything of it. So this is like probably like a few weeks before I got my car. So I ended up just ordering him the Uber, and he came over. So I'm standing at the door like waiting on him and waiting for the Uber, because I see when it's about to pull up, and I'm like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. Like, I'm thinking that somebody that beat him up and took his car, so I'm thinking that he finna, you know, be done got messed up. Like, he probably got knotted up. He get out the Uber, y'all, cool as a cucumber, walking slow, black and mild in his ear, chilling. I'm like, are you okay? And he get in the house, he give me a hug and a kiss, and I'm just like, you know, like, you good? I'm like, and he like, yeah, baby, what's wrong? Why wouldn't I be? And I was like, well, you said your truck got stolen. I'm not sure about nobody else. I'm not sure what type of insurance he had on that truck. But if an Audi truck gets stolen from me, I could be Bill Gates, bitch. I'm still gonna tweak out, because, like, where's my car? So he was like, oh yeah, well, that happened earlier in the week. So I'm like, So why are you calling me like it's an emergency and you need to be around me right now if you knew that the truck child? Anyways, we gonna come back to that part of the story. So he was like, yeah, nah, I just been stressed out lately. Like, you know, that happened earlier this week, and that still really bothered me. Like, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get another car. So I was asking him, like, did you have insurance on the car? Did you have, like, any type of anti-theft protection? Is the dealership able to track your car? Because it was, like, a brand new car. So he was just like, you know, yeah, but, you know, the police ain't doing their job. They being lazy, so I'm going to see what we can do. They probably already ripped the tracker out. And I'm just like, okay, I just take his word for it, because I'm like, you know, but you've been in the streets way longer than I did. Like, you know way more about it than I would. He finished venting, like, we kind of lay in the bed. We just sitting over there watching TV, eating chips or whatever. Now, usually me and him used to get along because we both would talk a lot. But I started talking to him, and he just was gone, like, dozing off quiet. I'm like, okay. So I get up, and I hit the lamp, and I lay back down. As soon as I lay back down, like, you know, I feel him getting on top of me. So I'm alright, bet. Like, bitch, I'm feeling it because I ain't seen you in weeks. And usually he's a munch and I'm lunch. So I'm like, oh yeah, we finna have a good night. So he get down there and he just really not doing his stuff. This is like he usually do. So I'm just like, you know, bitch, at this point, we both chasing waterfalls. Because what are you doing? Like, come on, man. Like, he just wasn't doing his thing like he usually would. So eventually he comes up. And I'm like, alright, well, we still gonna do the whoop-de-woo. Man, he came up and, like, he just pretty much so fell asleep on top of me. Like, he had half of his body on me, all his weight on me. And he was skinny, but I'm just like, this is too much dead weight. So I end up pushing him off me. He on the other side of the bed. He go to sleep. So the next morning, I get up and I'm making breakfast. He ain't awake yet. But as I'm, like, about to get done making breakfast, I hear him getting up, moving around and stuff. So he come in the kitchen and he like come up next to me and he started like rubbing on me and he's like, yeah, I did my thing last night. Like, you got up and started making breakfast. So I'm laughing and I'm like, boy, you're crazy. Like, cause I don't want to tell him that he did a bad job, but I'm like, I think that's obvious because we had messed around a few times before that and it was never as silent as it was that time. So while he's doing all this, he was like, yeah, get off that thing and go berserk. Like, how can I say it? How can I say this? We gonna call it twerk for now. He was like, yeah, get off that twerk and go berserk. If you know, you know what rhymes with twerk. So when he said this, I kind of like low-key started looking at him because, y'all, I don't judge nobody for what they do, but I don't want to, no, like, you know, you do your thing, whatever, but you're not going to be doing your thing with me. I don't do that, so you're not about to be doing that. And I had dealt with a boy before that used to do them type of things, and child, that's a whole nother story time, bitch. We'll be here all night. So when he said that, I'm not going to lie, he kind of like low-key gave me the ick. Asked him like what time he coming to get the baby. He was like, I'm going to let you know, like, I'm trying to find a ride. So he hang up on her, and he asked me, like, you know, have you changed your mind on, like, you know, me and my daughter? And I was like, well, you should have kept your baby mama on the phone because I would have talked to her and we would have worked it out. He was like, no, bro, like, do you want to meet her or not? I'm her parent. I'm asking you, like, do you want to meet her or not? And I told him straight up, like, until I can meet her mother, I guess I just won't be meeting the baby. And it really shouldn't be this difficult. Like, she just called right now. She seems calm. That was the perfect time to ask her. But he was being difficult about it. Up catching an attitude. I ordered him an Uber back home and he don't really text me that much for the rest of the day. So fast forward, me and him, he don't hit me up for like a week, so I end up blocking him. We don't talk no more. He still watch my Facebook, I still watch his, but we don't say anything to each other. Maybe about a week or two before graduation, I end up getting my cap and gown and I posted on my story like with the little countdown, like, oh, I'm so geeked to graduate, so on and so forth. So he watches my story and he ends up texting me on Messenger and he sends me a picture. It's a picture of his calendar, like with my graduation in there and dated, and he's like, you know, I'm so proud of you for graduating. Like, it sucks that I can't be there. I wish I could sit there and cheer you on, but I know me and you haven't talked in a while. Like, it's so big because people where we from, they don't make it out. Like, not too many of us can say that we have graduated from college. So when he sent me that message, y'all, my heart just melted, just dumb as hell, because like a lot of people didn't really like come to my graduation, my associate's degree or my bachelor's one. So the fact that he had put it in his calendar and he had remembered it, I just was like, oh my god, like, this is so sweet of him. Like, he actually does care. Maybe I misread the situation. Maybe he don't have nothing going on with his baby mama. Maybe it's me. Maybe he chose me, y'all.
That makes me hate you, love you. So pick me. Choose me. Love me.
So I'm reading the message and I'm just like, oh, like, thank you so much. And I'm like, if you would like to come, you know, I always got an extra ticket for you. Like, you're more than welcome. Because at this time, the only person that was coming to my graduation was my older sister. Everybody else, they were busy and they couldn't make it, or they were just, you know, because of COVID in general, people was just trying to limit their outside interactions. And I had to respect that. So he was like, you know, I'm going to be there. Like, it's still the same time. And I had basically told him, yeah. So the next day, me and him, we started talking again. Everything cool. Like, we pretty much started going back to normal. He started to come back over. We started to go back on dates. Like, he started to spend the night again. Everything cool. So fast forward to the day of my graduation. Like, I wake up super early. I go to my sister's house. I go kick it with her and the kids because she was coming to my graduation, and my graduation was like super close to my house. So I came to pick her up. I got my flowers and stuff from my nephews, and then we went back over to my house so she could finish getting dressed. So while she's at my house getting dressed, I text him and I'm like, you know, are you ready to go? And he was like, yeah, I'm ready. I've been up. Like, I'm already dressed. You can come scoop me. So I tell her, like, you know, hold on, I'm finna go pick him up, and once I get back, we all just gonna leave from my house and head over to graduation. And she kind of had gave me a look, but I'm thinking that she giving me this look because I just told her I'm going to pick a man up. Like, my sister is very much so break him down, don't build him up. Like, I'm not gonna lie, she hard on him. So I go to pick him up. Now, I have been picking him up this whole week. So embarrassing. Oh, I cannot believe we just pretend like y'all didn't see that. I would never admit this again on camera. But I have been picking him up like all week, and usually anytime I would come pick him up, he'll be like on the edge of the corner ready to get picked up. I would never truly know which house he's coming out of. So when I get there this day, he's not on the corner yet, and I'm not sure what house to pull up in front of. So I'm texting and I'm just like, you know, where you at? And I just don't want to pull up in front of nobody's house randomly and then they start coming outside tripping on me, because he lived on that side of Boynton where people would come outside and be like, you know, what you over here for? So he eventually ends up coming out the cut, and at first, y'all, I don't even know it's him, but I see the black and mild. He got a ski mask on, some jeans, a dirty wife beater, and some Balenciaga sneakers. I'm like, okay. Like, mind you, I had noticed that he kind of started, like, you know, repeating some of those outfits. Like, he wasn't getting fresh like he usually would. But I'm just thinking that's because, like, how he was dressing, because he was just coming to see me and we was just coming to kick it in the house. Like, we're going to a graduation, and even if you don't know how to dress accordingly for a graduation, like, we're going out to eat after this. So what are you doing? So when he got in the car, I'm just like, you know, hey baby. He's like, hey, like, congratulations on graduating. Like, I wish I could have went and got you some flowers, but I ain't had no time. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I asked him, I'm like, you know, is that what you wearing at graduation? And he was like, yeah, like, you know, I'm gonna go to the corner store and I'm gonna get a t-shirt and another shirt before we go. Like, I'm not gonna go like this. I know better. I would never embarrass you like that. I'm like, all right, bet. So we get back to my house. He introduced himself to my sister, and he was talking to her for a minute, but he was just like not acting like himself. Like, he was talking real loud, doing the most. And mind you, like, throughout this whole process, me and him never agreed that we got back together or anything like that. Like, we were just kicking it because, you know, we were just trying to work on it, but we never said that we got back together at all. So, like, time is winding down. Me and my sister, we done doing our hair, and he still has not left to go to the corner store and go get him a t-shirt. Mind you, it's a corner store right up the street. Like, it's within walking distance. So my sister started peeping that he hasn't left to, like, you know, go figure out nothing to wear, and it's about to be like 10 minutes before we gotta head over to the school. So she's like, look, straight up, go in your closet and give him like a shirt or a jacket or something, and make him take off that shiesty, because he's not gonna be following behind us just like that. And it was just so embarrassing, because I'm like, bro, usually you always dress fresh, like, you always dress to impress. The one day where I actually need you to put on some clothes, you don't get nice. Mind you, this man would dress up in Versace sneakers and limited edition Jordans to go to the corner store. Why are you over here with a dirty shirt on? So, you know, I end up going in the closet, and this is around the time where YG had dropped like the 400 merch. So I end up giving him like my 400 jacket, and I make him take off the shiesty. Y'all, his hair is not even brushed under this damn shiesty. It's so peasy. So I end up brushing his hair out, and we head over to the school. So when we pull up into the school parking lot, my sister's like, you know, just gonna let you know this now, like, this is your day, don't let nobody ruin your day, it's all about you. And I'm just thinking, like, you know, she just trying to give me words of encouragement. You know, older black people on sentimental days like that, like, they always just have all these one-liners and you don't know what's the purpose of it. But once we get out and we start walking towards the school, I end up seeing my dad in the parking lot with a whole bunch of balloons. So around this time, me and my dad really were not getting along because, like, he had a girlfriend and she was just very disrespectful and he wasn't checking her, so it placed like a big strain on our relationship. So when I seen him, I instantly got irritated. But I'm like, you know what, I don't want to make a scene this graduation day. So my sister kind of, like, you know, because I had turned around and gave her the evil eye because I'm like, I know damn well you didn't tell where my graduation was at. And she was like, look, like, it wasn't me, it was Mom. She just wanted, like, you know, she felt bad that she wasn't going to be able to come. And this is his first time being able to see you graduate because he had been in prison since, like, he did 17 years in prison. So elementary school, middle school, high school, he wasn't able to make it to none of those. So I'm like, whatever. So we see him, he's being nice, we're giving hugs, and we got Carpet taking pictures. So Carpet ends up introducing himself, and he's like, oh, you know, hey, how you doing? I'm her boyfriend, my name Carpet, like, whatever, nice to meet you, like, dad or whatever. So my dad is like looking at me and he's like, oh, you didn't tell me you had a man, like, hey, how you doing? I'm her daddy, whatever. But he kind of started doing that whole macho act, like, oh yeah, like, back in the day about my daughter, I would let you know I put a bag on your head. Like, he's just doing the most, and I'm like, oh my god, like, this is embarrassing. So while my daddy doing all that, I'm like, let's hurry up and go walk over to check in because I'm trying to change the subject. So once we get to check in, like, you know, they check me in, I'm sitting right there just waiting for them to call my name so I can go walk. Because it was a COVID graduation, I wasn't going to be walking across the stage with all my peers. They were going to check me in, I was going to walk across the stage, they were going to let my family members come in, and then once I leave out, they leave out, and then they bring in the next graduate. My graduation process, it was pretty fast. I barely remembered it. Once we got back out there, like, you know, they were all talking, and they were like, you know what, let's go head over to Buffalo Wild Wings, we can eat lunch over there. So I'm like, alright, bet. So we get in the car and he's sitting in the passenger seat and I'm sitting in the driver's seat. Everything I do while I'm driving, he got something slick to say, or he criticizing it, or just something. Like, just doing the most every time I do anything. But me and him are arguing so much that you could tell that my sister and my dad are, like, getting a little bit annoyed because it was just super childish and he was just doing the most. So I'm, like, low-key embarrassed because I didn't like that, because I'm like, damn, when it's just me and you be so cool. Like, I wish you would act like yourself so people can see why I like you. I'm not sure if he was nervous, he felt like he had to turn up and make it seem like he was just a big money getter. But y'all, we get to Buffalo Wild Wings and he's just telling my dad about all his illegal activities, so on and so forth, stuff that I don't even know about. So he started telling my dad, like, yeah, I done hit for X amount of money in Cali, like, you know, bitch, I was in with them boys, I was out there in Cali working, I had this amount of money, I had this car, I had this, I had that. So him and my dad talking, and my dad, you know, he loved to bring up his old war stories, so they just over there comparing notes. So they just talking or whatever, and my dad just look at him like, man, you look so familiar, like, who your daddy is, where y'all from, I probably know him. So he like, oh yeah, my daddy named so and so, we from here, like, you know, he been locked up for this amount of time, like, you might know him. My daddy looked this man dead in his eyes and tell him, yeah, I know your daddy a rat. Your daddy wasn't know this and this and that, because he was telling us all the things his daddy had did, and my dad just busted his bubble. He did that, and when I'm telling y'all, if I could have balled up in a small little ball and rolled out of that damn restaurant, I would have. It was so embarrassing. My sister was embarrassed. Me and her just sitting over there like, this watered down ass liquor they bringing us, this ain't gonna be enough. Like, they need to bring us a cold, hard drink. Like they need to bring us something hard. So he's just looking like, he's trying to laugh it off, but I know he's like super embarrassed, because I don't know how I would react if somebody daddy told me that my daddy was a rat. And it's like, I was just like, I know he's probably trying to be respectful if this is my dad, because this is my dad, but it was just like, y'all, it was just so embarrassing. So we end up calling for the check and we start heading back to my house. So once we get back to my house, him and my dad are on the couch and they're both watching football. Me and my sister just in my room and we're talking. So I'm like, you know what, like, okay, they watching football, my dad not being weird no more, like, this is cool, like, I can deal with this. So after a while, my sister ends up going back in the kitchen, like, to heat up her leftovers, and I'm in the bathroom and I'm like taking off my makeup and stuff. So he walks in the bathroom and he walks up behind me with the door open and says, like, let's take a shower together. And I'm just like, you know, no, like, my family's here. Mind y'all, I'm staying in like a 1-bedroom house at this time. Super small. The only bathroom in the house was my room. So there ain't nothing that we can do in here without everybody hearing this right now. And it's like, come on, man. Like, I don't respect, well, I ain't gonna say I don't respect my dad. I don't like my daddy like that, but it's like my daddy in the house. Like, let's have a little bit of respect. So he was just doing the most. So I ended up like leaving out the bathroom, and I was seeing if my dad and my sister were ready to go, because they were still parked at the school. So I was going to take them back to the school before, you know, they closed the gates, and then he was going to take my sister home. So, you know, him and my dad, they say their goodbyes. He says his goodbyes to my sister, and he stays in the house while I go take them home. Not while I take them home, while I take them back to the school. So I'll be on the way back to the school. My daddy just telling me, like, I don't like him for you, and I don't like his daddy because his daddy was a rat, so that make him a mouse, and you don't need to be around no cheese eaters, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm telling my dad, I'm like, look, this ain't my man, and I haven't seen you in a while, so I can understand that, but it's like, bro, this ain't my man. This is just a dude that I was having fun with. Like, you would have introduced me to a lot of women that you just kicking it with, and I treat all of them nicely, so let's just give me a pass when I'm having my fun with old dude. And like, yes, I'm embarrassed, but I wasn't gonna give my daddy the satisfaction of making him feel like he was gonna dictate who I did and didn't deal with. So my daddy just like, yeah, still, I don't want you talking to him, I don't want you dealing with him, like, you don't need to be around him. So eventually I take them back, and I go ahead and I turn around and I head back home. So when I get back home, he's like, you know, just walking around the house, just listening to music. And I'm like, okay, like, you know, I don't like NBA Youngboy, and I don't like all that racket in my house. So I had turned it down, and I went to go take a shower. So after I get out the shower, he goes ahead and he hops in, and, you know, he comes back out. So once he comes back out the shower, he's like, you know, it was really nice seeing you graduate, all this extra stuff. But I had peeped that earlier that day he had took a picture of, like, you know, me when I was walking across the stage, but he blurred my face out, and he posted on his close friend story. So after graduation, when we was out to eat, like, I had took a video with him, and I had posted it on my story. Y'all, and if you know me, I don't never post dudes. I got this man on the main story. I'm laid up. Like, y'all remember that picture of Megan Thee Stallion squatting down in front of the partisan? I got my whole head on this man's chest, got his whole big old head. I'm not even doing no face, no case. I'm just over here like, my man, my man, my man. Like, this is my man. Like, head on chest, like, bitch, my makeup print is on his shirt. He did not repost the video. So I'm like, damn, like, I didn't look good. I ain't fly. I'm like, what's going on? So once I had peeped that, I had went ahead and deleted the video, and I ain't gonna lie, I was a little aggravated by it, because if I post you, you better repost it, and you might want to frame it. Like, this don't happen often. Me and him, we're talking, and he brings up about meeting his daughter again, and I let him know again, like I told him before, until I meet your baby mama, I would not be having that child in my house, because I would never go over to his house, because he would always say, like, his mom was crazy and he didn't want nobody over there. So it was just like, you know, no, until I meet your, like, if we and you hang out with a child, it's always going to be at my house or at a different place. I'm still going to be around the child. So until I meet this child's mother, it's just not going to happen. But I feel like he knew that, and he just wanted to start an argument. So after that, he ended up, like, stomping off, and he left out the house. Fast forward, like, a few months, me and him, we're still talking. I'm already enrolled at my university, like, everything cool. So he brings up the whole meeting his daughter thing again, and I had kind of noticed that, like, he would bring it up when we were in an argument or when he just wanted to pick a fight with me, so he would have an excuse to leave the house. So he brought it up, and I told him once again, like, I'm not hanging around this baby until you introduce me to her mother and let her know that I would be around her child. If she throw a fit, that just means that I'm not meant to be around her child, because I'd rather her throw a fit before I get around the baby than me get around the baby and she start trying to accuse me of doing stuff to this child. Like, no. So he catches the attitude. He ends up storming out the house. So this day when he storms out, he got on a pair of Versace sneakers, some, like, I don't know, is it like the, what is it, the purple tag jeans? I'm not sure what the name of that brand is, but he got on the purple tag jeans and he got on the hoodie. Mind you, like, at this point, he was not lying when he said he had got all that money through, you know, card swiping or whatever, but he didn't have that money no more. So he was kind of like, no shade, he was recycling them same, like, 4 pairs of designer jeans. So I was kind of remembering his wardrobe, like, it was like a Bratz doll. I know what extra accessories he got. So that night he leaves, he don't answer the phone, and I was, like, really sad. Like, I was worried about his safety, because usually me and him would sit on the phone all night long. Like, that night he did not call me. We did not talk at all. So the next day, I'm like on the phone with my sister, and I get like a notification on Messenger, and she's like, bro, go look at your Facebook real quick. Mind you, I already told y'all, Palm Beach mugshots, they posting everything from here. Okay. So after he had ended up storming out that night, like, I was really sad. Me and him did not talk that night. We did not talk the next day. Like, I was just so heartbroken. Like, I didn't really know what to do with myself, because me and him would usually, like, no matter how mad he got, the next morning he would wake up and call me. At this point, it's like afternoon time, and he still has not called me. So my sister ends up texting me, and it's like we will always send each other messy stuff on Facebook back and forth through Messenger. So she sends me something on Messenger. I don't go check it, and she texts my phone, and she's like, bro, check your Messenger right now. So I get on Palm Beach mugshots. Why I see his mugshot, and I'm literally in shock. Y'all, I go look up the case. Whoever or wherever he was at, they done went and kicked the door in with him in there and arrested him. They were looking for him specifically, and they found him with, you know, stuff on him that he wasn't supposed to have. So I'm on the phone crying to my sister. I'm like, oh my God, like, oh, we got into an argument. Like, I wish I would have told him to stay here that night, like, blah, 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 blah. And my sister's just like, bro, no, be grateful that he wasn't at your house, because if they were looking for him specifically, they may have came and kicked your door in. And I'm like, no, he don't got nothing at my house. She was like, that's not the point. Like, he just seemed like he got too much going on for you. Like, he ain't for you. I'm getting a call from a jail phone number, and I pick it up, and it's him. So I pick up the phone, and he's like, oh my God, baby, like, you know, I'm so glad you picked up the phone, man. Like, I done got arrested, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't even my fault. Like, them pigs just picking at me. And I'm like, oh my God, baby, like, I'm so sorry. Like, you should have just stayed here last night. I feel like our argument is the reason why this happened. And he's just like, yeah, like, you know, like, he's just giving me the sob story, whatever. So he immediately started, like, getting on the phone, and he started talking like, yeah, I miss you. I wish I would have stayed with you last night and would have just been wrapped up with you. And he started talking to me like he done been in jail for 4 years. Boy, you barely been in jail 4 hours. So he's just like, yeah, like, I'm gonna need you to hold me down. Like, you ain't gotta, like, basically, he not really saying how he needs me to hold him down, but he's just saying, like, you know, hold me down, ride with me, like, I'm gonna be out of here before you know it, whatever. Like, I'm finna go talk to my lawyer and see if I can get a bond, and then, like, when they let me know what my bond is, I'll let you know what my people's gonna do. And I'm not thinking nothing of it, but I'm just like, you know, okay, hopefully your bond ain't that much, like, you know, you'll be able to get out. Wake up the next morning, my bank account is jumping thicker than Megan Thee Stallion back before she started going to the gym that often. It's refund check day. So my refund check had hit, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't sure when it's gonna hit, but the bank account was looking nice. Like, I was feeling good. But I wasn't even really able to go out and shop or nothing like that, because I was so sad because my man was locked up. So he calls me back the next day, and we're just talking, and he's letting me know, like, yeah, my bond is gonna be like $2,000. You know, my people saying they gonna get it together, but I don't know. I don't really trust them. Like, would you mind paying my bond for me, and then I just have everybody pay you back? Like, you'll be paid back by the time I touch down. And I'm just like, you know, I don't know about that. Like, I'll see what I'm able to do, like, you know, so on and so forth. So he ends up, like, you know, doing the same thing last time. Like, he's on the phone talking overtly crazy to me, like we was married and how much he missed me. And I'm like, bro, like, you've been in jail 2 days. You already trying to schedule a conjugal visit. So after we get off the phone, I'm sitting over there thinking about it, and I'm like, damn, should I pay his bond? Like, I really like him. We've been talking for a while. Like, you know, should I pay his bond? And at this point, his bond, like, $2,000. My refund check was, like, maybe, like, 6 bands. So I'm like, it wouldn't take nothing for me to pay his bond, but I'm just like, damn, like, I don't know if I want to do all that. Like, you know, like, $2,000, that's a lot of money. To some people it ain't, but to me, that's a lot, baby. That's rent. Like, that's more than rent. So I'm just like, oh, you know, I'm not sure about that. So I'm just sitting over there contemplating. I don't call my sisters, because both of them gonna tell me hell no and tell me I'm stupid. I don't call none of my homegirls, because they gonna tell me the same thing. So while I'm just thinking about it all night, I end up going to sleep, and I pray about it. God gave me a sign. So the next day, I end up getting a friend request from, like, a random Facebook page. So y'all know me, I go click on it and look. So I click on the page, and I don't know who the girl is, but I see her cover photo is a picture of his baby. So I'm like, oh, this must be the baby mama. Now, mind you, in my head, I go accept the friend request, because I'm thinking, like, you know, he did ask me to pay the bond, and he did say that, you know, his people's gonna pay me back. So I'm so damn delusional and ditzy over this man. I'm thinking that his baby mama finna hit me up, we finna come up with some type of way. Maybe she gonna pay half his bond, I'm gonna pay the other half. And I'm like, yes, like, we gonna team up, we gonna be good, we gonna do what's the best for this child, because every child need a father in their life. Black men don't deserve to be incarcerated. Just a whole bunch of mush mouth stuff. Y'all, wasn't nothing of that going on. So when I first accepted her friend request, I didn't see anything like on her story. She hadn't posted, and I was like going through her pictures or whatever, because I'm not no stalker, but she sent me a friend request. So I'm going through her picture. She's a cute little girl. That baby, well, not, she's not a cute little girl, sorry, she's a grown woman. But I'm like, okay, she's cute, the baby's adorable. I'm not thinking nothing of it. So I finish scrolling on Facebook, and I look back, and she done posted something on her story. So I go click on it. Why is the picture that's on her story is basically a boomerang of her and Carpet. So the day that I told y'all he left my house and he had on those purple tag jeans and like some sneakers or whatever, he had on the same exact outfit at her house, and they're taking pictures together, and you know, she's like, free my baby daddy till it's backwards. So I'm looking at this, and this ain't no just baby daddy, baby mama picture. Like, she laid up on him, like, you know, he holds it onto her thigh or whatever. And I'm looking, I start looking around the room. This the same room that he said he lived at in his mama house. But I'm thinking about the pictures on her page. She been taking pictures in front of this house, like her first day of school pictures back in high school. This is her house. Y'all, this is so embarrassing. I would never admit this to nobody else. Before you knew it, bitch, I done stalked Shawty friends list so hard. I'm on her mama Facebook, because I'm trying to figure out who house is this. Something ain't right. I end up finding her mama Facebook. This is her mother's house. So whole time, he not telling me what house to come pull up and pick him up at, because he getting picked up from this girl's mama's house. He keep on talking about something, she got a silver spoon in her mouth. Yes, because he had the silver spoon in his mouth as well. Both of them are living with her mother. Clock it. So I'm looking at it and I'm just like, bitch, I'm breathing hard, like throat getting heavy. I'm not feeling it. I'm like, oh, he playing with me. So he called me later on that night. When I tell y'all, I was sitting next to the phone waiting for that call, because he was going to explain something to me. He was going to tell me something. So I pick up the phone. Hey baby, like, how was your day? I've been in here all day. I was on the yard today, whatever. Like, I'm so happy to talk to you. I can't wait till I get out and I can just hold on you, kiss on you, blip, 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 blip. I said, yeah, baby mama posted a picture of you today. He said, oh, what did it say? I said, yeah, she posted a picture of you today and she was like, free you. He was like, oh yeah, that's real. Like, it sucks that I gotta be in this predicament for her and me, like for me and her to be able to get along. I was like, yeah, the same outfit you had. I was like, oh, so you went to her house the day you got arrested. The day you got arrested, they kicked her house in. He was like, what are you talking about? Like, you doing all this because my baby mama posted a picture of me? Man, I'm in jail. I'm trying to bond out. Like, I got so much more important stuff to be worried about. Like, I can't get mad at her for posting a picture. What I'm gonna do from behind bars? And I'm like, but the picture that you had on, did you leave and go to her house after leaving my house? He was like, man, you know what, baby, like, we got so much bigger stuff to worry about. Like, we not even gonna talk about this. This is childish. Like, this is the devil coming in. Like, you see, we was doing so good. So at this point, I'm kind of like tuning him out. He's still talking to me like, you know, so did you see if you were going to be able to help out with the bond? Did anybody say they were going to be able to, like, you know, help me out or anything like that? Mind you, whole time, nobody said anything about helping me bond him out. The only person that's talking is his baby mama on Facebook. She on there spilling the beans. Oh, F them pigs. They came and kicked my dough in by my baby daddy, but that's fine. You know, we stuck like glue. I'm down for him, whatever the case may be. And then after that status, she got back on there and said, oh yeah, and don't call yourself talking to my baby daddy unless you finna come bond him out. Like, I'm seeing all these messages on his Instagram, but ain't nobody talk about that bond. So I'm just looking at all of this and I'm like, not only were y'all living together, she got the password to your Facebook now. So it was just too much going on. So after he ended up hanging up that night, I ended up blocking the jail phone number and we never talked. Well, I did not talk to him for the whole time he was in jail. He ended up getting out of jail a few months later. And he texted me and was like, damn, you know, you must have changed your number. And I was like, yeah, I did. Still had the same number. To this day, I still got the same number. I just was not picking up the phone for him. Moral of the story, don't be out here dealing with these dudes that ain't got nothing to offer, especially if they got kids and you don't do that to yourself. If you want to play mommy dearest, go get a dog. Because That just don't make no sense. And that will be the end of the story time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. And we are officially on the road to 2K. Bye, y'all.